book Flamingo of Class 12, and that is Deep Water by William Douglas. William Douglas was an American jurist, and he was American jurist of the Supreme Court of United States, and he was appointed by President Roosevelt. William Douglas, I'm talking about. He is the author. He has written the book of Men and Mountains, a very famous book. And in this book, he has an excerpt that we are doing today. That is an autobiographical essay of Douglas, where Douglas tells us all about his fear and how he fought this fear. He came out of this fear. A very inspiring story, a very inspiring, in fact, an autobiographical essay, and which, fills us with firm, he was of firm determination and willpower, and this instills this story, once you read this essay of his, you yourself will feel inspired. Again and again, he was determined to do something, I'll just tell you, and he never gave up. He knew he had that fear, and he worked hard. He was firm on his determination. The great willpower he had, there are times when you lose and you quit. There are times when you are so possessed with fear, you're so filled with fear that you are not able to fight back. But William Douglas did. He overcame the fear that he had. He fought the fear. He took it as a challenge. And definitely this must have made him a confident person after, he came out of this fear. And this fear was of deep water. Deep water, the depth of water. When he was, I'll go through that. I have, a series of events where, he kept trying and trying to come out of this fear of deep water. He always felt he would get drowned. He felt he had the fear of death. And he remembers always his mother also, was also kept telling him to, caution him to stay away from deep water. It starts, when he was just 3 or 4 years of age, and he had gone to one of the beaches in California, and he was there with his father, and the waves came. Have you ever been to the beach? That sand is there near the beach, the banks of the beach, and when the waves come, the sand and goes back, the sand also moves with it, and the sand that is underneath your feet, you feel the sand slipping. And the same was experienced by William when he was just 3 or 4, and with the gush of waves, he was also pulled into the water. He had not gone very far, but yes, he was fully submerged in water, and quickly the father, William's father, picked him up, and he started laughing and just, and took it jokingly that the way he had fallen. But that created a certain kind of fear in his brain. The fear housed in his mind. And he grew up, but he could never forget that traumatic experience. And to fight that, he knew himself that he was undergoing this problem and he had to fight back. So he joined the YMCA pool. The YMCA pool in Yakima, he joined that when he was around 10 years of age. Why did he do it again? Because he did not want to quit. He had the determination to fight the fear that he was, that was creating a problem. That was there in his mind, kept coming in his mind. He kept remembering the way he was terrorized by the waves. So he joined this YMCA swimming pool, and he bought, those wings that they wear in the arms, so that you are able to wade the water and give proper strokes, and it becomes easier for you to swim. So he bought all that, and this was only because he wanted to come out of that fear. And he knew that the water in the pool was not very deep. The pool has got, the beginning is from 2 to 3 feet, and it goes till 9 feet to the other corner. So the people who are, the elders or the people who are experienced, know swimming well, they swim in the 7, 8, 9 feet areas. And the smaller children, they remain in the 2 to 3 feet area. So he used to stay there. One day he reached the pool. Here also he had an experience, So one day he reached the pool early, and there was no one. He got ready and all, and he was very skinny, very thin and skinny, and he used to feel shy to come out because there were children who had well-built body. So he used to feel very shy, and but still, he came, and he saw that there was no one in the pool, so he thought of waiting. So he sat at one corner and thought that let everybody come, and then he would swim. So just after some time, big hefty boy entered, and he was around 18 years of age, and he was a big boy, well built body he had. And William saw this boy come, and this boy, William was not able to even realize what had happened when this boy came and called him skinny, picked him up and threw him into the deep water of the pool, the deeper side of the pool. Just imagine the fear that must have struck in William. Already he was so, he had an traumatic experience before. When he was just 3, 4, he wanted to come out of it. But that was not so suddenly, thrown into deep water. Things are learned step by step. This fear is also one that way. You have to overcome fear step by step. It just doesn't go off at once. So he was so terrified. He was terror struck. And as he was thrown into the deep water, he realized that he was going down in the same sitting position. That boy, he was sitting there at one side of the pool. The boy came, he picked him up in the sitting position only and threw him down in the deep water. So unthoughtful, isn't it? He didn't know this boy, and he didn't know whether this boy knows swimming properly. Just for fun's sake, how could you be so, like you should know what to do with whom? You never know, what happens in the mind of the children. How, they act after that. It was William. He was full of willpower, and he was a person with strong determination. He was able to fight this. But what about the others? Anyways, when he was thrown into water, he landed in a sitting position inside water, and he realized that he was going down. Now, he knew he was already, very frightened, very scared, but his mind was working, and quickly he, made a strategy that as soon as he would reach the bottom of the pool, he would, with force, he would kick the floor and bounce back out of the water, and by paddling he would come to the edge of the pool. He decided to do that. Very good strategy. And just imagine, in such a condition, he was able to plan what to do. Alright, so this was his mind, ability to think, his presence of mind was working. So he, as soon as he reached, and he, in the planning only, he realized now he was waiting when to reach at the bottom and when he has to kick. He was waiting, and this 9 feet water seemed to be 90 feet deep. He was not reaching time. He felt that the time was not going quickly. He was not going quickly. He had to save himself. How he would come out of the water. And as soon as he reached there, as he had planned, he kicked with force, his feet to the floor and tried to come out. But no, he could see only yellow water all around. He tried to call out. He tried to scream. But no one could hear him. Even he could not hear him in the water. Now what to do? And he realized that again he was going down. The second time he planned to even strike harder. And he did so. He reached the bottom. He struck the ground with his feet, with full force, and bounced back. And yes, his nose was out, his eyes were out, and he could see all around. He tried to scream. He tried to hold on something, but there was nothing. No rope, nothing. He was actually at the center. He became a little happy, but this happiness was also short-lived. Again, he realized he was going down. Such a lot of strength he was putting. He was getting suffocated. He didn't know how to breathe inside water. The whole water was getting choked inside him. And the third time, he became very tired. He did not have strength. And he realized his legs were not light enough. They seemed to be paralyzed. According to the strategy that he had planned in the first and the second time when he was going down, was to strike the floor with great strength with his feet. But now he couldn't feel his feet. He was so tired. There was lack of oxygen in his body, in his brain. And suddenly he started becoming drowsy. And he resigned to fate. Now he just did not put any strength. He was losing all. He had lost all strength. He was not able to, feel, the body did not feel the presence of oxygen in it. And he resigned to fate and left his body to go down. And he felt he was dying. And he felt a certain kind of peace. He was not terrified of death at all. So peaceful he felt. He was, getting drowsy. He felt very peaceful at that time. And then he didn't know what happened. But when he came back to consciousness, he saw that he was outside the pool, lying on his stomach, and he was vomiting. People were trying to, put pressure from the back so that the water, that unnecessary water that had gone in, would come out. So he was vomiting the water out. So weak he was feeling. And then he saw everybody, standing in a circle and encircling him and looking at this boy as to what had happened. And the boy, the 18-year-old boy who had thrown him inside, was getting scolded by the instructor. And, he also didn't realize it was just for fun's sake that he had done this. And after resting in the, the restroom of the pool, for some time he walked back home feeling so very weak. He stayed in for a few days. He wept at night. So terrorized, so traumatic this experience must have been. Just imagine, see, when I read, every time I read, I feel, oh, what a pity. Even I would have felt the same maybe. And for so many years he stayed away from water. This happens. But this determination, this willpower to fight fear was there in Douglas. So again and again, that came up. Now after a few years, when he came to know about the waters of Cascades from his friends, his friends used to go canoeing, fishing, boating, swimming. They used to enjoy, and he too wanted to do the same things. So when he came to know about the Cascades after a few years, he says that, even when he was at the Titan, just wading, sitting at the side of the water and just putting your feet in and wading, that memory, the traumatic experience, the memory of that day, used to come inside him, and again he used to get horrified. He used to feel so scared. Whether he was bathing at one corner or he was just wading water, just paddling his feet into the water, that also terrorized him. He was very upset, and because, of all this, he was not able to enjoy the activities of canoeing, of fishing. He liked all that. He was not able to have fun. And then finally, one October, he decided to keep an instructor who would teach him proper ways of swimming, all the strokes, and maybe with the instructor's help, the fear would go off. He talked to the instructor. He told the instructor everything about, his past experiences. And so the instructor, what he did was, his way was also nice, You must have seen the programs on Fear Factor and all. What they do, when they are cliff jumping or whatever they are doing, they are tied with a belt, and then there is a rope, and then there is a pulley, attached to it with a cable, and they are able to control you, pull you, push you. That means you don't drown or you don't fall from a height. They do fix you properly with that pulley and the cable. So this instructor also, he, whenever he used to teach, he used to put a belt, and there was a rope attached to it, a pulley attached to it with a cable, and he started, teaching him swimming, and long lengths William used to swim wearing all that. He learned different types of strokes. There are so many different types of strokes. He learned all of that. He enjoyed so much. And step by step, he was taught. And after a few days, that belt was removed. And then again, few miles he used to do with the help of the instructor. So he was, getting trained properly. October he started till April, around 5-6 months. The instructor told that now he had finished his training and now he was ready. He could swim anywhere. But William was not sure of himself. So then, he started swimming. He used to go for swimming, and then he realized that it was fear that was terrorizing him. And what he says, see, I've written, he says, trying to scare me up. Well, here's to you. And then, he had decided that no, this fear is housing a good place in my heart, in my brain, in my mind, and it is not letting me do anything. It is paralyzing me. It is terrorizing me. I have to fight this. So, he used to say, trying to scare me up. Who is he talking to? To fear. Well, here's to you. And then he used to go and swim long lengths. But he was still not sure with himself. He wanted to gain more confidence, So in July, I'll tell you, in July, he went to the Conrad, he went to the Lake Wentworth in New Hampshire. All right. And he dived from the Triggs Island. He dived from there and swam 2 miles, and such a lot of confidence he must have got. Then again, after a few days, he went to the Titan to Conrad. He went through the Titan to Conrad Meadows, all right, and up to the Conrad Creek trail and camped there near the Warm Lake. He camped there. because he did not want short distances. Then got up early in the morning and again, he dived into the water, and it was then he realized that he had conquered fear, and he shouted, he screamed, he swam long lengths, all the strokes he did, the side ones, the butterfly ones, whatever the strokes are, and it's the happiness that came into him. He told fear, well, Mr. Terror, he calls fear Mr. Terror. What do you think you can do to me? William has talked to fear like that as if he's talking to a person. So this literary device is personification. Alright, so he has used literary device. Here, here also he's talking to fear. Here he is calling fear as Mr. Terror. So these two are the literary devices where we talk to something, some non-living thing like a person. So this is personification, the literary device. Alright, and then William says that this drowning experience, again and again, when he was 3 and 4 in the beach in California, then in the YMCA pool, and then the terror that always, had in him, paralyzed him, always terrified him, and, he was not able to swim long lengths in deep water like his friends used to do. He was not able to enjoy the fishing and canoeing activities that his friends were enjoying. He also wanted to enjoy. So all this, he says that this drowning experience, he had experienced what? That death itself was not terrifying. He had experienced death when he was thrown into the pool, and the third time when he was not able to gather enough strength to save himself, to bring himself up. He had resigned to fate. He felt that if he had to die, he had just left everything to fate. He had experienced death, but that time he had felt a certain kind of peace. So he says that death itself was not terrifying, it was very peaceful. It was fear of death that was torturous. It was fear of death. And that is what he had to fight against. And then, he even quotes President Roosevelt's words. And what did President Roosevelt say? All we have to fear is fear itself. Nothing else you have to fear. So why to fear? Overcome it. Don't quit. Never give up. Fight. Overcome that. Take it as a challenge. Alright? And so later on in the end he says that when he was released of the fear, when this fear had disappeared, he was free to walk the trails wherever, he used to go for long walks. Trails are, into the remote areas, into the jungles, wherever he was ready to go. He was not afraid. No fear was there. And even climb peaks. Peaks are high mountain peaks. He was even fearless to climb that. Once, it is just once you have to come out of it. Let us quickly see the stages. I'll just revise with you. See, when he was 3 to 4 years of age, it was a traumatic experience at the beach. Alright, in California. Second time was at the age of 10 or 11 in the YMCA pool, when the 18-year-old boy, just for fun's sake, he had picked Douglas up and thrown him into the water, and how he planned a strategy to go down to with pressure to with great force to give a jerk to the floor with his feet and then come up. He had planned that. He had tried twice also, but third time he had lost all strength. Moreover, when a person is not trained to breathe properly inside water, underneath water, then suffocation takes place, and then the body has experiences a lack of oxygen. So this often happens. All right. And he says that after a few years, even when he had heard about the water of Cascades, he tried to go to the Titan or the Bumping River just for wading, just sitting at one side and wading your feet, paddling your feet into water. That also terrorized him. Then he tried, even to take bath in the warm lake of Great Rocks. But that also, he had a very bad experience. Then after few years, when he went in the for canoeing, fishing and all, again, you know, he was not able to enjoy, because that the memories of the traumatic experience that he had already had always came back, and he was not able to enjoy any of these activities that his friends used to enjoy. Alright, then he appointed an instructor in October until April, and with the instructor, you know, I told you they used to tie that belt with the rope, and then there was a pulley and the cable, everything was attached, so there was no fear of drowning. Alright, and he learned different types of strokes, different ways of swimming, and used to swim long lengths. All the strategies had been taught to him, what, you know, instructors must have taught him, how to breathe underneath water, everything was taught to him. But still, he did not have much confidence to go anywhere alone and swim. Alright, with the help of instructor, he knew the instructor would save him. Alright, so he did not give up. Again in July, he went to Lake Wentworth in New Hampshire and dived off the Trigger Island, swam 2 miles, alright, to the Stamp Act Island. He tried that. He became very happy, and he told fear that trying to scare me off. Well, here's to you. So this, you know, he took it as a challenge and was able to succeed. Then again, still, you know, he wanted, and when he got an opportunity, he took that. He went from through the Titan to the Conrad Meadows, and then he went to the Conrad Creek trail and camped near the warm lake. He camped there. He stayed there, you know, camping. To put a small temporary tent and stay there the whole night, and early morning he got up, he dived into the water, swam long lengths, all the strokes he did, went deep into the water, was able to breathe properly, smoothly, and it is at that time, you know, he screamed, he shouted that he had conquered fear. He was so very happy. Alright, and he also, you know, he used to tell when he had gone there, he had referred to fear as, well, Mr. Terror, what do you think you can do to me? So here again he took it as a challenge, and he was successful. And then he says that the drowning experience, what he had learned out of the drowning experience was that death is not terrifying. It is only the fear of death, and we have to overcome that fear. We have to fight that fear. Otherwise, life would become very, very difficult. Death has to come one day. We all are mortals. But always to be in fear is not a solution. Alright, that will restrict you from doing great things that you want to do, that you desire to do. Alright, and then he quotes the words of President Roosevelt, and also he says that at the end, when he was released of this fear, he was able to, you know, climb great peaks, and he was ready to walk trails, and he really enjoyed life after that. We all should also overcome any type of fear, any type of weakness. He was having that problem of fear. We all know, you know, we all can introspect. We know what are the things, what are the weak points that bring us down. And we should work on that with full determination, as he had done, with great willpower. Work on that and never quit. You know, even if you have to try for many times, we have to overcome any weakness. Take it as a challenge. Win over it. Life will become, you know, so full of confidence. Go through the chapter. I've explained every point. I've not left anything. Go through read the chapter. Watch my video. You'll be able to understand everything very well. And if you have any queries, please put it in the comment section. And yes, please, if you have still not subscribed to my channel, please press the subscribe button and even the bell for the latest notifications. Do take good care of yourself. Fight fear and overcome any type of weakness that you have. Become strong and confident. Meet you in the next video. Goodbye.